Mr. Dexter Taylor. What's happening, friend?
Oh, don't start with that wrestling talk, I'm playing at WWF.
What's happening, friend?
Everything is good, man. Everything is good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good to be back with you. You know, we skipped Super Bowl Sunday because I wasn't going to try to compete that.
Yeah, well, you know what? I taped I somewhat taped the Super Bowl somewhat. You know, I was in and out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to. Did you get to watch the Super Bowl?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Well, that
No.
totally sucks. I thought y'all guys had TVs in there. You got the only prison I ever heard of doing in TVs.
No, we don't have TVs in the cells. Absolutely not. We in past, I heard from the other guys who've been over here for longer that in past years they would open up the day rooms and let us come through into the day rooms and watch the Super Bowl on the TV that the guards use. But this year, for whatever reason, that did not happen. You know, I have no real complaint anyway. It's like, you know, I enjoy watching football if it's on, but if it's not, I don't feel any kind of way. If I'm in my books or whatever, so all good. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, I turned it, well, like I said, I was in and out, you know, as far as the Super Bowl goes. I watched a couple of plays and I went and did something else, came back and did, so I was kind of bouncing back and forth because I wanted to see the halftime show. And I wanted to see the halftime show so I could see what everybody was going to be bitching about. Because I knew it was going to be a bitch fest. It is.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah. It is every single year. Every year, you always got them bitching about. Because we already know what it's going to be. I mean, every black artist somewhat that gets on the stage and gets an opportunity to send a message. That's what it's going to be. And then white America gets pissed because they don't want to hear it. And that's pretty much what happened again this year.
I heard a lot of buzz about it. Of course, I didn't see the actual thing. I have to say, I'm interested in your take on it first because, again, you saw it and I didn't. So first of all, who performed, what did they do, and what was the big deal?
Okay, so Kendrick performed, right?
Kendrick
Lamar, right? And people, you know, and I understand a lot of people are not into, you know, the rap genre. I get that.
Okay.
No ifs, ands, or buts. But because he is as big as he is, I'm sure a lot of people heard of him, heard some of his music, but they probably don't know who he is. I understand that part. I also get the part because I even complained about the part that you couldn't understand pretty much a word that was coming out of his mouth. You know, you understand what I'm saying? Because
was that because his words were garbled, or because the sound system was up?
I think it had a lot to do with the sound system. So you would pretty much what you would pretty much have to do is find out what song he was singing, and then go to YouTube and pull that song up.
Get the lyrics up.
Yeah.
Know what he was saying.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, I even did it because I don't listen. I don't listen to his music. I don't listen to today's rap at all.
I don't think I've ever knowingly heard a song that Kendrick Lamar. I may have heard one when someone was playing it, but I've never knowingly heard. So I don't even know what he sounds like.
Right.
But I mean, I know how people make a big deal about it. So what was he supposed to have said or done that caused the controversy?
Well, a lot of people didn't get his message. So his message was basically putting out there saying, you know, with the flag, how the flag is divided. He also was saying how America was built on the backs of black people. You had a whole scene there, basically asking the question: Is do you know how to play the game, young black man? Do you know how to play the game of America, and how to get by? And then you had Samuel L. Jackson, which I think was probably one of the best things that I've seen when it comes to telling the story of how America wants black people to act. So you had Samuel L. Jackson as basically being, Uncle Sam, saying, Kendrick Lamar is too loud and he's too ghetto. So don't be loud and don't be ghetto, but be like Tim Scott. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
If we're gonna like you as black people, we want you like Tim Scott. If we want to like you like black people, we want you like Byron McDonald. We want those type of blacks we alike, but we don't want to like Reverend Christopher type blacks because we loud.
Well, okay. I wouldn't put you. I wouldn't flatter. I'll put it this way. I wouldn't flatter Kendrick Lamar by putting him in the same category with you. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't insult you by putting you in the same category with him. But go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I'm loud though. I'm outspoken. Yeah. I wear my blackness on my sleeve. I'm not afraid to say certain things. I'm not afraid. So Samuel L. Jackson was like the moderator when Kendrick when he got out of hand, when he would sing certain songs, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I know a lot of people probably didn't get the correlation between Samuel L. Jackson and what he was doing there, but that's what Samuel L. Jackson was. He was there to say, don't be so loud. He was there to say, don't be ghetto.
So he was like a Greek chorus, in other words. Like in a Shakespeare play.
Exactly.
What was the? I'm still trying to find out what did Kendrick Lamar like? First of all, was it good? Was the music any good? Was it actually musical? Was it entertaining? Was it what I'm saying? Was it good to listen to?
If you could, and like I said before, the parts you can understand, because like I said, the audio. I don't know if it was the audio. Or it was just him, mumbling in certain places.
Mumbling, right?
You understand what I'm saying? That.
Well, probably also the way he held the mic.
Yeah.
Because all these guys insist on holding the mic the wrong damn way every time. But go on.
Yeah. So So, and like I said before, if you did not listen to his music, so if you would have saw this, you would have probably be on the same in the same boat I'm in. If you didn't listen to his music, you would not understand a lot of the things that he was saying. And because you didn't understand what he was saying, you was missing the message that he was putting out. Because certain songs went along with certain like the police. You know, he's showing that we're all, you know, how the police treat black people, right? Black men are locked up more than anybody else. I thought it was really cool because he did this one scene where, you know, where everybody was under a street light. And then, you know, in the black community, when and I'm sure people didn't get this, so I'm about to break it down to them. In the black community, when the street lights came on, you were in your yard, right? Or you, and that was done because once it got dark outside, the police would treat black people totally different. So mom and dad said, so we don't get in trouble or we don't get put away for something that we're not doing. When the street lights came, so he did this whole scene where everybody was up under the street lights. It was pretty cool. That was pretty cool because a lot of black people got that. We understood what he was saying to keep us safe from the police, because some of the theme was around police brutality, right? So it was, like I said, the message was there. I got the message like right off the bat. I saw exactly what he was talking about. He did the game. He had the game, how the game was being played, how America plays the game with black people, how we're being treated, things of that sort. It was cool. But again, if you didn't listen to his music, you wouldn't understand what he was saying. So that kind of took away from a large part of what he was trying to get out there to people.
I mean, it's interesting, right? Because I don't know. Like I said, I can't critique the performance itself because I didn't see it and didn't hear it. But I mean, I have to say, like, I'm a little bit tired of entertainers trying to simplify something that's actually very complicated.
Yeah.
These entertainers don't say anything. They don't weigh in on politics at all for 364 days of the year. And then on one day, they're like, "Oh, now we're going to send a message." Well, first of all, who's the message for? Is it to us? Well, if we understand, if the message is to black people, right? And we would get the message right away. Then why are you telling things you already know? That's the first thing. Right? I mean, we don't know what the situation is. But if you're sending a message to us, are we stupid? Has it not occurred to us that certain things happen in this country and certain things that happen in our history? Why are you telling us a message? Why are you sending us a message consisting of shit we already know? That's the first problem. And the next problem is, well, if you're sending a message to someone else, who are you sending that message to? Can they understand that message? Right? So, I mean, it's like, now, of course, we know, I'm putting all this whole kind of general criticism. It's not a specific criticism because I didn't see the performance. It's a general criticism. I'm putting that in a separate bucket from whatever dumb shit conservatives got on the mic and said after he gave the performance. Because I know there's always going to be something. And
right.
It doesn't have to be anything. Well, Kendrick Lamar is a controversial figure. Okay, I don't know that, but let's just grant that to save time. Well, the fact is that I remember not that long ago, I remember conservatives getting upset because at some football game or other, somebody sang "Lift Every Voice and Sing," which everyone with sense knows is a Christian appreciation of America and American history, written by a black Republican in honor of a Republican president.
Thank you.
Right? And Republicans couldn't stand it. Right? So, okay.
Thank you.
So we know that there are certain people, commentators, influencers, and such, who are just stuck on stupid aspects. So let's put that in one bucket. Okay. But at the same, and you and Carl and everyone who's listening who's heard me, y'all know me. I go in on everybody. So, it is what it is. All right. But I still do feel a kind of way. And who knows, maybe it's being in here. Maybe it's being in here and hearing the deafening silence from all the message senders in the entertainment industry. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Like all these people are very good at sending messages about all types of shit. All right? But not certain things. Okay, well, something, granted, everyone's got their agenda, everyone's got their thing. Who knows, maybe firearms are Kendrick Lamar's thing. No problem. But nonetheless, I do feel a kind of way about being sent a message that I already understand, and that it's a suit I will understand. I do feel a kind of way about people, especially black folks, who should know better, taking a very complicated thing and making it simple, or trying to make it simple. Because the fact is this, look, we have to be honest, right? You say the way black folks are treated in the United States. First of all, not every jurisdiction is the same. That's the first thing. There's some jurisdictions where actually the police do, a reasonably good job. There are others, like the one you live in, where not so much, right? There are others, like the one I live in, where it's actually a mixed bag. I mean, I have to be honest. When the funny thing about me is, for example, my part of Brooklyn, and this, by the way, this goes for every part of Brooklyn. I've lived in Brooklyn for 30 years. 30 some odd years. Um, after the Ed Koch administration, and then especially after the Giuliani administration, we never really saw cops on patrol, beat cops walking around. Right, so after the lights go on in my neighborhood in Bushwick, you don't see the cops at all any more than you see them during the day. Look, you just don't see them. If you see them, they're riding past in the car. That's it. You go to the corner store, sometimes there's a cop parked somewhere doing his paperwork in the car with the dome light on and what have you. Or his partner's inside getting sandwiches. Okay? In other words, look, it's really important, I think, for everyone, but let's just talk with black folks for a second, to get into the arena, the political arena, and mix it up and make our demands along with everyone else. But for those demands to be meaningful and for us to be playing for any kind of meaningful space, we have to be talking about what's actually happening and not this cartoon image of what quote-unquote Black America is like. And it seems to me that a lot of these entertainers want to keep painting a cartoon image that's very simple when the reality is very complicated. And that's a problem. That's a real problem. Because it simply is not true that everywhere in America today it is everywhere like 1954 Mississippi. It's just not true. That's not the case. No. Okay? And if we're honest, the idea that, okay, so the larger point of this is the way America treats black people. I'm sorry. Is Kendrick Lamar a pauper? Is he on public assistance? I mean, I'm serious. Is he broke? I mean, in other words, maybe, look, I'm weird. I'm an oddball. I get it. I'm sorry. But I mean, the man is standing up about how America treats black people, and you better not be too, because if Kendrick Lamar is too loud, and therefore they won't. You're performing at the Super Bowl. What am I missing? What are you talking about?
Well, you miss it.
Wait. You're extremely wealthy, and by the way, great that you're wealthy. God bless you. But I'm saying you're an extremely wealthy young man.
Yep,
and you've been called to perform at the Super Bowl. So obviously, America, quote unquote, has meant to get over some aspect of that problem that you say they have with people like you. So now that is not to say that there's not racism. That's not to say that there are problems. It's just to say that, right away, if you just stand back and look at the thing with a little bit of detachment, you see that, he's using very simple terms in a space that's actually very complicated. Again, it's not like Kendrick Lamar is so broke. It's not like he's like Huddy Ledbetter or any one of a dozen blues musicians who died in poverty, right, after giving the world that gift. It's like the man is wealthy, and he was called to perform at the Super Bowl. He didn't do that for free. If America had such a big problem with black folks who were too loud and too whatever, like Kendrick Lamar is, then what the hell was he doing in the arena in the first place? Right? So I'm sorry, come on, let's step up a little bit. Let's step up the conversation a little bit, because we do have real problems, and there are real systemic problems, if you want to say that. But this cartoon imagery. Every time a black person steps out of line, a white person, but is that really true? Is that really true, or can we?
I don't. Dex, I don't.
Happen to be black working in mass media.
No. I don't think his message was for when someone steps out of line. It's like the Uncle Tom, the so-called Uncle Tom, or you watch. Hey, you watch Roots, right? Did you see Roots? And did you see? You saw the character on there, Fiddler. And Fiddler was in charge of making. Yeah, Fiddler was in charge of making sure all the other slaves did what the master told him to do?
Right.
So
hold on a second. What is? I'm sorry. I just look. Yeah.
No, I'm giving you a picture. I'm giving you a picture.
Yeah. Okay.
Of what what is being what he is out there basically saying. What's being said of what the message. So the picture is it's not we don't like black people, but we like certain black people. We like we like the Tim Scotts. We like the Byron Donalds. That's who we like. If you're going to be,
did he say? Did he talk about Tim Scott and Byron Donalds?
No. Hold on. Okay. When Samuel L. Jackson was telling him to shut up, stop being ghetto, and stop being loud, he was saying, "Don't be of the black culture." Right?
Okay, but wait a minute. But this is the problem to me. But that's the problem. But that's what you just said is the problem. Because first of all, the black culture is not necessarily bound up with being loud in the first place. If we go back and look at black folks, if we go back and look at black folks post-emancipation, we have to admit that a lot of black culture was not putting their business in the street, about conducting themselves with a certain kind of
we were conservatives. We were more conservative.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Perfect. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
You know, I'm saying right. So for them to put together that whole performance, and again, the idea that like America, quote unquote, does not like black folks who are loud and outspoken, that's also wrong. Because look, who is producing all this so-called music that I'm hearing 24/7 up here in the cell block? Huh?
That's right. And who buys it? And who buys that music?
Thank you. What hip hop has become, right? To me, the smoldering ruin of what hip hop used to be.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. Like someone is pumping a lot of money into that shit.
That's right.
So it's not true that Black America doesn't like that, and it's not true also that it's not true that that's in any way represented. See, this is part of the thing where like we still, I think. Partially because we are like Black Americans are an identity, an ethnic identity really created here in this country. We're not quite African, you know, as if Africa is a country in the first place, right? We're not quite, you know, like we're not like the other hyphenated people who came here from, let's say, Hungary or Italy or Ireland or whatever, because those people came from countries, right? We are something new that was forged here in this place. And I think one of the negative side effects of that, this historical reality, is that I think we've always struggled, you know, I mean, in a similar way to how America has struggled at large with the notion of identity and authenticity. That struggle is not unique to us. If you go back and read about the frontiermen, right? If you go the people who were made famous in the Great Westward Expansion of the 1800s and early 1900s, right? It was like a lot of white folks who lived in cities couldn't get enough of the tales of these frontiermen like Davy Crockett and the Mississippi Riverboat men like Mike Fink and so on. These like, you know, bravos and brawlers and gunfighters and what have you. They were fascinated by that. And it was almost like Americans were looking for something to tell them who they were. Okay? We suffer from the same thing, right? But that message in particular, I don't think is I won't say it's not a solution. There's no message is a solution, but it's just like it's. For some reason, I feel like like these entertainers are always missing the mark.
Yeah. Hey, let's do this here, Dex. Let's do this here because we got that 1 minute mark. So, you wanna disconnect, and then I'll go ahead and shout out some things here while you're coming back.
Absolutely, absolutely, brother. I'll jump off and come right back.
Okay, I'll talk to you in a minute.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dexter Taylor there.
The caller has hung up.
Mr. Dexter Taylor there. So for those who are new, those who trying to figure out what the heck is he doing tonight, on Sunday nights, what we do is we talk to Dexter Taylor straight from prison. We are actually speaking to him while he sits behind a wall, and he is locked up in a cell. That's what we do on Sundays, and we give him an opportunity to come in, catch up with the world, because, like he said, he's limited to what he knows and what he can hear and what he gets out there. Plus, we want to make sure he's okay. We want to make sure that everything is going good with him until we can keep fighting us out here. We can keep fighting to get him from this railroading by the Democratic Party, the white liberals, and some of these here think they know it all black Democrats. And that's pretty much what happened here. You had a man who was basically doing what he had a right to do under the Second Amendment. They decided that, let's go make an example of him. And they did, because there was some racial overtones going into Dexter's situation here. Not going to get all into that, but just know that if y'all think that his color, his skin didn't play a part in this here, sorry, it did. Trust me when I say that.
All right, we back.
All right, perfect. But we give Dexter an opportunity to, like I say, on Sundays. This is what we do on Sundays. We get an opportunity to talk to him. And before I put him back on real quick, let me do this here. So we got Carl in the background. All of this stuff you see going out right now, that is Carl, like what he does, what he do. He works in the background and gets all of this here stuff up and going. A couple of things that he put out there, if you want to donate to Dexter's Fund and things of that sort, Carl put it out there. I retweeted it also on my page. You can go to You Are a Smart Ass Carl. You can go to Carl's page, you are _ a smart ass Carl, to his page also. He also put on there this hat. I got the red one on tonight. It says, I stand with Dexter Taylor. That's the red one. I also have a black one, the one that like what Carl has in the picture there. If you want one of these hats, a very quality hat, I'm telling you, it is awesome. It is a quality hat. If you want one of these here, please click on the link and we'll get you one. I still haven't got my sweatshirt, but you can get in touch with Carl, and Carl can also tell you how do you get a sweatshirt with the I Stand with Dexter. And as you can see, we got the mic, the carbon mic on there also. So I think they only got these in red and black. But anyway, that's my spiel, and I'm going to stand by it, no ifs, ands, or buts. But we do have Dexter Taylor back on the line. And before he left, for those who just jumping in, before he left, we were talking about the situation that happened in the Super Bowl with with Kendrick Lamar and his messaging and what came of that, and the people who got upset and the people who got mad, and so that's what we was talking about. So Dexter, I'm gonna let you finish up on what you were saying before you had to jump off.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I just think we've had enough time to experience enough of American history, which is really to say all of it here from the beginning, right? We've experienced enough of American history to actually to give a fully up-to-date take on what is happening in our republic, in our home, right? And listen, not everyone's going to give that same take. That's fine, right? Different people are going to have different takes on different things and different perspectives. We expect that. But it just seems to me, and it's the same feeling I get when I hear, what they call modern hip hop. It's kind of like, a lot of this stuff sounds the same. a lot of this stuff just sounds like they're saying the same thing over and over again. And it's like you and I, Reverend, are old enough to remember when, like, every 10 years, like, black folks would find some new form, some new musical, and blow everybody's mind. The thing is, since 15 years, like, oh, what is this new thing? And it seems like lately we've been kind of stuck in this kind of spiral of self-regard, this spiral of, okay, I'm going to do this thing, and then it's going to spark off this fake fight between pious liberals who are all tears and sympathy and conservatives who kind of point and jeer or whatever, and then that's supposed to be the start of some conversation, and then 5-6 months later the same thing all over again. Like, I'm done with that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like let's actually look around and talk about what is happening to us. Let's talk about, for example, the stories that are not being told. I mean, back to the thing of authenticity. Everyone is holding up, right, this kind of hip-hop, fake gangster, well, in some cases, real gangster aesthetic, and calling that the kind of, and holding it up as kind of a gold standard of authenticity. Everyone's holding up kind of the worst of a set of traits that, again, post-emancipation, black folks weren't even about that, okay? And holding that up as a standard of authenticity, right? It's like, and this is what it means to be real, to be a real black person. And the problem with that is that it's insulting. Well, no, I'm sorry. The first problem is it's not true, right? Because the truth can sometimes be insulting. The first problem is it's not true. And the second problem is that all these people who keep telling us that a certain musical art form is holding up a mirror to what is happening in black communities. Here's my question. Are there not bus drivers in black communities? Are there not electrical contractors in black communities? Are there not bank tellers? Are there not black police officers? Are there not graphic designers, stockbrokers, janitors, construction workers, iron workers, carpenters, steam fitters? How come the only story we want to tell is people who are out there in the street acting a fool? Is that the only story we have? I mean, that's the question.
No,
is that the only story we have to tell? Is that the only one that's real in our community? Well, why is that all we're talking about?
Well, I think what they, I think what they're,
sorry, go on.
Yeah, I think what they're what like I said again, what Kendrick's put out there was, they feel that we're still in a struggle and we're still in a fight.
Well, yes, we are. Yes, we are. 100%. But what I'm saying is that, yes, we're in a struggle, but the fight has changed. And of course the fight's going to change. Because look, you're in a struggle with an adversary, okay? You're wrestling with a guy, right? Okay. If you're wrestling with the guy, or sometimes he throws you throw him, okay, he puts a hold on you, you slip that, you put a hold on it, he slips that. Okay, now he pulls a knife. Now it's a different fight. It won't do you any good to use the same methods and techniques that you were using in the no-edge weapon phase of the combat. You got to update now. It's a different fight. Okay, so now you pull a knife, and then you got to pull a knife. So now you're knife fighting. Now it's different.
Well,
right. Okay, so you're knife fighting. Okay, great. Okay, now he pulls a pistol. Now you have to pull a pistol. In other words, the dimensions of the fight, the parameters of the fight, they change over time. Now we're in a fight, not the same fight we were having in the 1950s, which was not the same fight we were having in the 1860s. You feel me? And it doesn't do us any good in terms of basic strategy and tactics and how to get through this thing, not just how to actually win the fight, how to prosper. It doesn't do us any good if we keep treating the fight as if it's the same thing we were in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years ago. It's false. It's just a false image. And again, both sides, remember, progressives and liberals on one side and professional conservatives on the other they basically both have like retarded takes on that same thing. The liberals and progressives are all tears and sympathy and pious nodding, okay? and the professional conservatives are all pointing and jeering and dismissing. They're both wrong. They're both wrong. Satan sends deceptions into the world 2 at a time as pairs of opposites. So when you lurch back from one, you stumble into the other. That's C.S. Lewis. Okay? So that's my big problem. It's not, I got nothing against Kendrick Lamar personally, but I'm just saying, come on, fellas, like, there's so many more stories that we're not telling. Why are we not telling these stories? What's the matter? Don't we think these stories are worth telling? Don't we think our fathers helped build these cities, bro? I mean, the cities
he had that in.
How we built. No, wait. Let's talk about how America built. Wait, let's talk about how America built. Black folks built America. But they don't want to talk about the slavery part.
Let me interject in here for a second. So Dexter, you're not wrong in what you're saying, but I think you misunderstood what Kendrick was trying to portray here. He is telling those types of stories. He's talking about how Black people built America, but not just about slavery. He didn't just focus on that. He focused on the art of hip hop music. He focused on the art of Black people.
I got to pause you. I'm so sorry. You know I love you, brother. You know I respect you, but this is part of the problem. Mm-hmm. Not just art. Our contribution is not just art and culture. You know, This is the thing. When everybody talks about the Germans, they're like, "Oh yeah, the Germans, this and that helped put us in space."
But he's a hip hop artist.
Okay, no. Yes, but wait a minute. But he's telling ours. He's not telling the story of hip hop. He's telling the story of us. Okay, he's claiming to. Okay.
Yeah, but so he's telling the story of hip hop through art.
So wait a minute. If you people, and he's not the only one. We don't have to single him out. Everyone does this. Everyone does this. Everyone says, "Oh, yeah, Black folks have contributed to America." How well? Culture. I'm saying Black folks have also been up, you know, as they were raising skyscrapers, riveting I-beams together. That's what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
We've been in the startup, bro. We've been in the startup writing software. We've been in the oil field, bro. Right. So it's like, the thing is, I'm asking, not against Kendrick. I'm saying in general, and I'm asking, not telling. I'm saying, can we tell some larger stories that's not just about how Black people have rhythm and culture and art?
I understand that, but you know, you can't.
Yeah.
I just like how you're an engineer. I can't ask you to tell a story through engineering.
Again, yeah, you're right. But
you know, I'm saying, like, as an artist, you can only tell a story through art.
So how come most of these hip hop artists who are not gangsters insist on only talking about gangsters shooting out in the street?
But that's not what Kendrick was talking about.
No. I didn't say. I didn't say. Well, wait. I didn't say it was. I said I'm not singling him out. Okay. But I'm saying you're making a general point, and I'm attacking your general logic. If you're saying that for some reason our singers and our artists can't talk about anything outside their art, then I'm asking them why they're talking about shooting the place up then. Because most of these cats did not shoot the place up. Right? I'm saying, like, we have a problem. And the problem is a narrowness of vision. The problem is a poverty of imagination. That's the problem. And the reason I go so hard on this is not because I think the conservatives, with their jeering and their sneering, are onto anything. Okay? It's because I think that the real vision is just so beautiful and so big and so expansive.
Okay.
And I want anybody to start telling some of that.
So you're saying
my dad worked construction his whole life, bro. Listen to me. My dad used to work heavy construction, pouring concrete and all that shit. Okay, my mom was a nurse. Okay, where are the people who are telling me stories?
But that's the thing. He is telling those stories.
That's an everyday. But that's an everyday. That to me, what you just said there, Dexter, is like
in his catalog. Dexter, he is telling those different stories. He's not just focusing on one thing.
Wonderful, because you said, well, that's fine. Remember, but you said, right, when you talk about our contribution to America, the first thing you said was culture and art. And when I think
that was a part of his performance. But remember, you didn't let him finish.
I didn't see the performance, so I can't critique it.
So he did talk about he did several songs talking about not just culture, but talking about different contributions of Black America.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
I'm saying this. Okay.
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, bro. It's like, come on, man. We know we have this problem. Like when everyone says Black American culture, they contributions to America, they always talk about culture. I'm saying that's fine. I'm saying, and let's expand the picture. Because you and I have to be honest with each other. Again, not Kendrick Lamar. We have to be honest. It's like the music forms that we are prominent in don't tend to tell a lot of stories about anything else but what is that whole thing. Forget about what Kendrick said. I didn't see it. I wasn't there. But we have to be honest. Huh? There's not a lot of records talking about people going to work at the plant or going to work riveting cars or aircraft together. Huh?
Well,
or building skyscrapers or pouring
and I will agree with you, but I will ask you this question. I will ask you this question. When it comes to an artist, forget that they're even Black. Do you think white artists talk about, all the things you just named?
Absolutely they do. I mean, when I was coming up, I could really you half a dozen guys who would talk about working at a factory, about the downside of working at the factory, I mean, you name it. Yes. Rural life, growing up on a farm, growing up here, growing up there.
That's mostly told through like country music and rock music.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But yes, I mean it's not told through dance music. Yes, it's told through country and rock. Okay. Granted.
Okay. So, what are some hip hop artists can you say off the top of your head back when you was growing up that did the same thing?
EPMD. Public Enemy.
What about KRS-One?
KRS-One.
KRS-One was another.
All right. Kendrick is exactly like those artists.
Okay.
He's exact. I'm not talking. I get what you're saying. But I'm talking specifically about Kendrick Lamar. I don't like a lot of current hip hop either. Kendrick represents more of that old school type of hip hop than the new school type of hip hop that we hear now. He's more like a Q-Tip from Tribe Called Quest. He's more like a KRS-One.
Which is great, but again, my point is this: because you have to remember that I'm just using him as a jumping off point. I'm not criticizing, I'm not singling him out, but I'm saying I'm attacking some of his logic. Because he did say that America doesn't like Black people who do this and that and this and that. And I'm saying, well, first of all,
that's a misconception too. He's not talking about that white America don't like Black America. What he was conveying.
I didn't say that either.
Okay, repeat what you said.
I said going from what Reverend Tim said. He said that Samuel Jackson was acting like a Greek chorus. Talking about, like he would interject with, "Hey, you better not be too uppity. You better not be too loud,
ghetto.
You better not be
too ghetto, too loud."
Okay,
you know.
For America, I didn't say white. And by the way, I didn't say white America. I said America. Now,
okay,
I'm saying that even that is objectively false.
Well,
because it's the Super Bowl.
Well, the reason why he's at the Super Bowl is not because of white people; it's because of Jay-Z.
I didn't. But you keep bringing in white people. I didn't.
Well, all right. Let me rephrase it. The reason why he's at the Super Bowl is because of the fact that Kendrick Lamar is the biggest artist in the last 12 months, and the reason why, but that doesn't necessarily mean because you're well liked by someone that America likes you,
brother. Yes, it does. In other words,
I would disagree.
Wait, brother man, come on. It's not just someone. In other words, someone in some vast concentration of capital in America is pouring money and has been into black music forever.
Yeah, but we all know that, when it comes to anything that can make you money, people are going to push it out. That doesn't necessarily mean that they like it.
And wait a minute. And that's my point. And that's exactly my point. Because of what I was going to say was, look, when I think of black people's contribution to America, the first person who comes to mind, Elijah McCoy.
Who?
Elijah McCoy. Right? Because here's a man whose customers almost certainly didn't like him at all. Certainly didn't think he was fully human at all. They just realized that, wait a minute, betting on this guy and buying his machinery is a good idea. It's a good bet. Good for profit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, that's what, to the extent that when other cats tried to copy his invention, the wealthy white industrialists would say, no, thank you, I want the real McCoy. Okay, listen, that's as good to get.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for somewhere where people are going to genuinely like you in the abstract, I don't know what to tell you. You come to the wrong shop. The best we can do is exactly what you said. If you can actually create wealth, if you can do something well enough that people want it, they'll come and pay you, then you can prosper. That's exactly right. And I'm saying that's not just true in entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And it hasn't been, not for us. We've been able to generate wealth in all kinds of fields, not because anyone likes black people, but because they were like, hey, this person or this process or this invention can add value. I'm in. That's the success metric, bro. That's it. But if they don't like me because I talk too loud, do they pay me on time? Yeah, we're good to go. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is not about Kendrick. This is not about Kendrick.
I understand what you're saying.
Right. It's like in general, it's like. Well, I mean, first of all, it seems to me that it's the opposite is true in any case. That like what the powers that be don't really like or feel a kind of way about is black folks who are too articulate. That's what it seems like to me. Not the other way around.
Well, that's what it essentially is. That's what it essentially is.
Well, okay, so then why is Samuel Jackson saying, well, don't be too loud? And they love you when you're too loud and you're too ghetto. They love that. Because why? Because their kids can drive around in the sports car that mommy and daddy bought them, and they can turn up that music, and for a few minutes, they know they're listening to someone who they have no worry that person is superior to them in anything except wealth. Like, I know why a lot of these kids listen to. Wait a minute. I know why a lot of these kids listen to 50 Cent.
No, they do.
Stockbrokers and shit because they know. I know why they do because they don't have any problem with feeling superior to the person who's actually saying the lyrics.
But see, the thing is, I think that America itself, when they see a person that is being articulate, being passionate, telling good stories, they see that as loud and ghetto. What we think is loud and ghetto is different. What we think is loud and ghetto is different than what they think is loud and ghetto.
Okay, I don't think that's true at all. That, like, 100%, I disagree with that.
Well, we saw that during the civil rights movement.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
I was about to say.
They didn't, excuse me. No one thought that Martin Luther King was loud and ghetto. No one thought that Malcolm X was loud.
They thought he was loud.
No.
They didn't think he was ghetto, but
Malcolm.
they didn't think he was loud.
They were afraid of Malcolm.
You're loud when you raise your voice, but what I'm saying, they were afraid of him because it's an intellect. Come on.
They was afraid of Malcolm because Malcolm was moving people.
Well, Brother Man, he was moving people with his intellect. He wasn't moving people with no loud talking on the corner about nothing. You understand what I'm saying?
No, we're not talking about loud in the literal sense.
Hang on a second. Maybe it's because of where I've been for the past few months, brother. But I'm sorry. I'm seeing our young men come in here and they're addicted to this one kind of way of looking at the world. And this one kind of, loud talking about nothing. And they're addicted to this. I mean, but remember, anti-intellectualism is not particular to us. It's an American strain. It's just as American as apple pie.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, that's the only thing our children are getting in some circumstances. And they come in here and that's all they can think about. And they listen to this shit for half an hour, and they're mad and they don't know why. This is a problem. This is a problem.
Well, that was one of that.
Nobody wants to talk about it.
Well, no. He talked. Kendrick talked about it. That was part of the scenes that he had was our black man being put in prison without any due process or without actual justice.
But, I'm not. But we're talking about two different things. Put due process aside. That's one thing. What I'm saying is that we're rearing, and it's not across of all of Black America. We have to acknowledge the fact this is a class dependent thing. But we are raising a generation of young people who are looking at the world when it comes to culture, when it comes to music, are looking at the world through a very, very narrow sonic lens. That's all about violence and self-hatred and hatred of other people who look like you and degradation of women. About that. That's what I'm talking. When I say these kids come in here and they're addicted, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Now, somebody is putting a whole lot of money into the genre of music.
Right.
So what do we mean exactly when we say America? In other words, what I'm telling you is hypercapital. Hypercapital loves that. Hypercapital loves that. Why? Because it's destructive of family. It's destructive of brotherhood. It's destructive of unity. It's destructive of reason. It's destructive of any of the things that could allow people to sit and reason together like men and figure out what is actually happening to them, to us. Huh? I mean, this is a problem. So that's, again, I said the first thing I said was I've never knowingly heard Kendrick Lamar's music. So I'm not, in nothing I say should you take it to mean that I'm attacking his music. I'm attacking the logic of how he set his thing up. The picture he's painting. Because he's saying, in other words, it's like being at the Super Bowl and saying, like, America doesn't like athletic black men. That's obviously not true. That's obviously not true. Because you're at the Super Bowl, for God's sake. So it's like, that's the problem. It's like, it's like, I mean, I've seen it all in here. I'm seeing it all.
Right.
And it's like, this is, some of this has been done by, as we've talked about before, liberals and progressives who are running our cities into the ground. Some of this has been done by so-called conservatives who were happy to tough on crime their way to the next election.
Well, we have that here,
right?
We have that here going on right now with You've got the pendulum. You got the pendulum from the left that has swung so far that the Republicans feel that they need to get on, like you said, tough on crime, lock them up.
Yes, sir.
You know, and
right.
So I've got to try to be in the middle of both of them. I've got to have one side see that if we can do something about these kids before they get to the point to where they walk in there to see you, Dexter. That's been my fight. But I can't get the two to see. I can't get the two to see that. I can't get, because the Democrats, they want to try to keep everybody out of prison, right? They don't want black kids going to prison. They don't want them locking them up when they're 16, 17, 18 years old. And then the Republicans don't care, because the only thing they want to do is lock people up and throw away the key.
Well, you could argue that Democrats have been locking plenty of people up and throwing away the key.
You have 1 minute
like
left.
New York, for example. I mean, Democrats have no problem locking certain people up and throwing away the key. Right?
No, they
I know what you mean.
Yeah, they've been fighting here lately. The Democrats here in Minnesota, and like I said, I only speak for what goes on here in Minnesota, has been, you know what?
Yes,
we got that minute again, Dexter.
Oh, we got that minute coming up, yeah. I'm going to jump off. Okay. And come right back, because I want to hear you talking more about Minnesota.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All righty. We'll talk to you in a minute. So, hey, people, like always, it's a Sunday night, and as you can see, we do have Dexter Taylor on the other end of the call. Just to go over some things for those who are new, who just jumped in with us. You know, Dexter Taylor was basically railroaded by the system, by the Democratic system. And I say that because it was the Democratic system that basically put this man in prison for what we see now is 10 years. But if we keep fighting and get somebody who will say, hey, that was wrong, if we can get somebody to say, let's really look into this case and see what it's all about, we believe, myself and Carl's on the other end of this here. You heard him and Dexter going back and forth. Carl is the one who does all this here to get all of you all here, so you guys can hear some conversation with Dexter. But if we can get somebody, you know, I'm crossing my finger and hoping Don Jr. says something to his dad about Dexter, because Don Jr. was told about Dexter. There's some pretty high profile people who knows about Dexter who can probably get to Donald Trump. But
we got Dexter back.
Okay, but it will take people like yourself, everybody who's on the other end of my voice right now, to write an email, write something to your congressperson, to anybody. It doesn't matter if you sit there and go, well, I'm not in New York. I don't care. It doesn't matter if you're in New York. Maybe that congressperson will go, hey, that's a travesty. And then they go talk to somebody in New York, or they go, get in Donald Trump's ear once he hears something. Not that Trump cannot pardon him, but Trump can definitely put some power into this situation to make something totally different, right? So that's who that's who we got on tonight. We try to do this here every Sunday to give Dexter, to give him some idea of what's going on out here, so we can see how he's doing, to make sure he's keeping up. So we're fighting for him here. He's fighting for himself there. If we all fight together, then maybe we can get this man home. That's how I see it. But anyway, what was I talking? Oh, yeah, Dexter. So
Minnesota.
Yeah, so here in Minnesota, you've got these liberals who are so far gone that, you know, they're willing now to, like I said, we're on a point system with these kids, right? So a kid go out and he carjack somebody. He don't cause any harm. He just takes the car. He just takes off. He drives it somewhere everywhere, crashes the car. You know, the kid will get a point, right? But then they return this kid back to the mom and dad, right back to the same broken system that he got in trouble with. Okay, so the Democrats are happy with that. They're not happy with taking and putting these kids in a facility or in a place. Like, you know, I mean, the state of Minnesota lost a kid, brother. Lost a kid. Kid was being supervised by a 24-hour supervisor. in a hotel room because they don't have any place to put any kids. This kid stole the supervisor's car, took off his bracelet, and took off. They have not found this kid in the state of Minnesota. So now the Republicans see this and go, let's just lock him up. Stop and frisk. Let's just lock them up. That's all we want. We don't care. We don't care about prevention. We don't care about the middle part, and we don't care about the end. We just want to lock them up and not see them anymore. That's the Republicans' mindset, which is crazy to me.
Right.
So that's where we're at here, with everything that's going on.
Right. And I think, my thing is, I think it's really going to be up to us. I mean, the reason why I have such urgency in my voice is that, it's up to people. It's up to people who are not that much aligned with either camp, but who are aligned with the values that we want to see, the values that we want to see win. We're the ones who are going to come up with something with something that actually gets us closer to at least comprehending the Democrat. It can't. It's not the Republicans.
You're kind of breaking up a little bit.
Lack political imagination. Hang on a second. Yeah, it's not going to come from either major party. It can't. They lack imagination, right? It's got to come from us, I think. It's got to come from people.
Yeah, but they don't listen. They don't. The problem is, Dexter, they don't listen.
But wait a minute. Look, we're just skipping a step. We have to have the ideas first. We have to craft those ideas into policies first, and then we have to organize and network so that we can push aside the politicians who don't want to listen. You understand what I'm saying? The ideas must come from us. The ideas must come from us. And so what that means is the conception of the problem has to be based in what we're actually seeing, not some fake cartoon about how, America is this and America is that. It's like, listen, like no one knows better than that. We're the people who live in the house who know where the roof is leaking. But the point is, I want to see an up-to-date picture of everything, as up-to-date as possible. So we can talk about what to do today, about what's happening to us today. And we have to be honest. Some of our elites in the black community have not stepped up sufficiently. They've stepped up in ways that have to do with a kind of poverty that barely exists anymore in big cities.
Well,
what are you doing about poverty of ideas? Right? What are you doing about too much government? What are you doing about this? What are you doing about the destruction of the family? What are you doing about the fact that young men are bailing out of marriage in record numbers because it's no longer worth it to them? You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not putting it on entertainers or cultural figures or any one group to kind of get this whole thing right. This is bigger than the ability of any one person or any one group to get the whole thing right. All I'm really asking for is that we kind of see a vision that's a little bit larger, in fact, substantially larger than the ones we've been given so far by people who claim to have a cultural vision, who claim to be in the vanguard of looking at the problem and looking at America and looking at Black America. I insist on a larger and more complex and more confusing and less simple vision, because that's more real to me. It's more human. Again, it's complex. It's muddy. It's messy. It's right. It's biological. It's human. It's real. And for as long as we keep sticking to these simple conceptions of what's wrong, we're gonna keep going back to someone's simple-minded solution, either a simple-minded Democrat or a simple-minded ass Republican, Rudolph Giuliani. We're just going to keep going back and forth between two people who are just wrong in opposite ways.
Well, maybe we should
How
go.
long can that go
Well,
on?
Dexter, maybe we should go back. Maybe we should, as black people, go back to a simple solution, a simple-minded thing, right? Because when things were simple, you look at the thing that we did. It's like we talked about earlier, that at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, black people are a group of. We started off as conservative people, right? We started off as Republicans until we got to the point to the Democrats figured out that only thing they have to do is just promise us a check or promise us something, and then we jumped over there and everything about us that was conservatism, we just let it go by the wayside because we forgot to follow the rules of what that is: God, family, country.
Well, that's not necessarily completely true, though. Remember that Republicans really started alienating people almost right after emancipation.
Right.
Remember that the new white Republican Party is a thing that existed. So it's not as if the Republican Party has been doing right by black folks all along, and then magically everyone just left. It's more complicated than that. But listen, what I'm saying is that we're not going to snap our fingers and make the world more simple. And therefore, it's no use wishing for simpler solutions that were good in simpler times. It's not going to happen. That's that's my metaphor. You're wrestling with someone. He pulls a knife. You better either hit the road or pull a knife. If you refuse to accept that you are in a knife fight now, because of your nostalgia for the times when it was simpler, when y'all were just wrestling, you're going to have a bad day. You have to acknowledge that the fight is of a higher order now. That's the situation we are in, how it is. So again, the solution, as far as I'm concerned, there's no one solution. We know that we need strong families. We know we need to rebuild the family because the family is the foundation of civilization. Destroy the family, and all hell breaks loose. How do we rebuild the family? There's quite a few ways. Some of them involving things that government do, others involving things that only we can do.
Right.
Okay? None of this is going to be simple because remember, we have an immense array of forces working against us. Right? We got powers and principalities. Right? We got all kinds of cultural messages. We got, you name it. Okay, it's working against things that we want to see. We're in the fight of our lives. Okay. All I'm saying is to step up and acknowledge that this is a complicated situation, complicated fight, simple. And the problem is no longer, I have to say, the problem is no longer that America likes or dislikes any one kind of person. That's no longer the problem. This has the problem of who gets what, not good versus, in the Jim Crow times, right? That was good versus evil. These times we're living in we're also fighting evil, but in the larger political realm, we're also fighting a fight about who gets what, which is a more complex question. It just is, and so we've got to figure out how to make the right kind of coalition so we can grab and hold on to political power in the places where our cities are being run into the ground, for example, and we can start to put some of these things in action. People like Sonny Jonathan, people like Chicago Red have decided, and I think wisely, that the best thing is to take over the Republican Party from the grassroots. It's like if we're naturally conservative, which we are, then rather than create a whole new party, let's use the infrastructure that's there. The problem is not the infrastructure. The problem is the people who are in charge of it.
Well, the problem with that, but I've heard that. I've heard that from a few people sitting here saying, dig into the Republican Party. I don't see that happening, and I don't see that being a viable place for black people to land. I mean, as conservative,
it's not viable now.
Right, as
not viable now.
Say again?
It's not viable now because we haven't taken it over, right? I mean, Why do you think? I mean, think about this. Think about this. So, if Sonny Johnson was head of the RNC, right?
Which would never happen.
Probably would be a Republican.
Right.
It will never happen, but there's lots of things There's lots of things we were told would never happen, right?
Yeah, they're not gonna.
5 or 10 years before Obama was president.
Even when Michael,
Black Secretary of the Army.
Even when Michael Steele,
right? I mean,
we got to remember they put a black person up there, but they treated him like a piece of dirt while he was there. When Michael Steele,
of course it is, because Michael Steele was right, but Michael Steele is not Sonny Johnson. Like,
yeah,
Michael Steele is more on the Candace Owens. Michael Steele is more on the Candace Owens side of things.
I got to disagree. Come on now. I got to disagree with it. Michael Steele. Yeah, you know what? I'm a follower of Michael Steele. I've never heard Michael Steele stomp down on black people like Candace Owens do.
She's next level. She's next level. But I've heard him say that. He said some things. He said some things that I agree with. And matter of fact, I've said the same things that he said, especially when it comes to some of these little boys running around here getting these here little black girls pregnant. But Candace Owens literally stomps on black people so she can get paid. Yeah.
I mean, where Candace Owens is right now. I mean, I was in the room. When Candace Owens came here to minute, I even got a picture of me handing Candace Owens my card. I handed her my card and said, Candace, I need you to come back here to Minnesota, and I need you to walk around the streets that I walk around, and I need you to talk to the very black people But hold on. I told her, I said, I need you to talk to the very black people that you're putting down on the stage in front of this here room full of white people so they can pay you, so you can make them feel good. I need you come. Dude, I got the picture of me giving her my card, brother. I gave her my card and told her to come here to Minnesota. But what I'm saying is, hold on 1 second. But what I'm saying is, the way Candace Owens does it is to satisfy white people. Now, Michael still did it to say, y'all, look, black people, we need to stand up and we need to be different. And because Michael still wasn't the Candace Owens that they wanted him to be, he wasn't the Tim Scott that he wanted him to be. He wasn't the Byron Donald. This is what I've started off this thing talking about. Because he wasn't. They did him dirty, and they booted this black man out. That's what the Republican Party did to him. So when people sit there and say, let's as black people go take over the Republican Party and let us go do this and do that, I sit here and have to sit back and laugh, bro.
Takeover doesn't mean, wait, hang on a second. Takeover doesn't mean go and become Republicans and just leave the structure as it is.
Right.
Takeover means booting the existing people out. Right? I mean, this is what I'm saying. Takeover means booting the existing people out. Goodbye, we can't use you. That's what that means. Now listen, I hold no brief for the Republican Party. I don't care. I'm just saying, I've heard I've heard Sonny Johnson say it, and it makes sense that, well, you could create a whole new party. But that's a little bit too much work, and so we could just stage a takeover in
let's see.
One of the parties that is there. I tell you what, since it's a party that calls itself conservative,
I tell you what, Dex.
What it really is.
I tell you what. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Let's see what happens with Mega and the Republicans within the next few years. Let's see what happens. Let's see if Mega takes down the Republicans, then black people can go into the Republican Party. But if Mega,
well, I wouldn't even say that, because Mega. I'm sorry, but my MAGA brother. But the MAGA movement has its own problems, right? I'm just saying that look, I don't care because I'm of no political party to begin with.
Right.
I'm speaking as an outsider. But I'm just saying, you're going to need a political party. Okay, so pick one. I don't care. You want to make it? You want to make it? Hold on. You want the libertarians? And then you got that problem. I don't care. I'm saying that like, political power is the thing. It's one of the things.
Yes, sir.
Political power, cultural power. That's it. Okay? And so that's it. Let's go. That's the fight's on.
I think we should go to the independent party. That's what I think we should go.
Listen, if that's the thing, fine. I would only warn you that the independents can't get on the ballot in all 50 states.
If we had enough, if we had enough to back that party, right? Then we can make
wonderful.
We can make a difference.
Yeah, if you can. Yes, sure. You can get again. To me, everything's on the table, right? I'm like, if you think we can get there this way, I'm all for it. Because what I'm interested in is the outcome, right?
Right.
So, like the party, to me, is just a tool. You pick it up and you use it. If it's wrong, you put it down and pick up another one. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. But, back to our original discussion, it's just, I do feel a kind of way. Like as an amateur history student, like I've gotten a glimpse of like how rich and complex art history is, and I just feel a special way about people trying to simplify it all back down to a couple of things. And I do feel a way about, again, entertainers, prosperous entertainers, ignoring certain stories and telling certain others. Gotta be honest.
Understood. I'm just looking at, like I said, I'm just looking at that. You've got right now. You got some Republicans and you got some megas fighting for that party, right? There's no more conservatives. There's no more conservatives over there. There isn't. Your Mitt Romneys, your Paul Ryans, and all of them conservatives. They're pretty much gone, right?
They're not real.
You got
yeah.
But they were as close to conservatives as you're gonna get, right? Versus,
really? If that's the case, I give up because no way. Jesus Christ. No way. Sorry, no.
But right now, only thing you got over there is your mega mashed with the Tea Party. Basically, what mega is a Tea Party rebuilt 2.0. I can tell you that right now.
Well, I mean, I didn't know that much about the Tea Party when it started out, so I couldn't say. But put this way,
I did. I joined the Tea Party.
Care that much.
Nah, Reverend Tim is exactly right. The Tea Party is MAGA.
I joined the Tea Party. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I remember studying politics back then. Yeah, it's MAGA is the Tea Party reformed.
Yep. It's the Tea Party. Okay.
And I left the Tea Party when they got racist. That's the reason when I first joined the Tea Party, I thought I found a place to be and hang out, and I believed in what they believed about government and the whole nine, everything. Stumped for a couple of candidates, the whole nine. And then, and then at the end there, before they start breaking up, they did what I was like, wow, they got racist. So that's why I left. So that's why I'm without a party.
I wasn't even impressed with the Tea Party from the beginning, to be honest. I mean, I have to say it because it seemed to me that like everyone was ignoring the elephant. I remember this was like in the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis.
Yeah.
And it seemed to me that like everybody wanted to talk about everything except the fact that once again we allowed a bunch of payheads with spreadsheets to play games with numbers on Wall Street to blow up the economy, and now we're being asked to pay for it. And everyone was like, okay, what do we do? And no one wanted to focus on the fact that, like, listen, these payheads on Wall Street were like literally playing matches in a lake of gasoline, and then we look at each other surprised when the whole thing goes up.
Well, Bush knew what was going on, though.
Well, you say that. I don't know, but I have a hard time believing that Bush knew or knows anything. But that aside, the fact is that, like, I heard a lot of so-called conservatives, I don't know whether they were Tea Parties or Republicans or whatever, I heard them saying how the financial crisis was caused by black folks buying houses they couldn't afford. It was not true. It just was not true. I heard a lot of them say it was caused by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Whatever you think about those programs, that's not what caused the crisis. And so right there, that whole turned me off because I'm like, I had been, especially given what I do for a living, I've been looking at this stuff for a while, and I knew what caused the crisis. it was messing around with the goodness that caused the crisis, And so it's just like I'm having to trust them. Listen, whatever it is, like I said, I don't care. I'm interested in. I will make common cause with anyone who's interested in the harm that's happening to us.
You're breaking up, Dex.
Sorry. I'll make common cause with anyone who's interested in into the heart of what's happening to us as Americans. As long as they're willing to get real with the story, okay, I'm on board. Which is why I'm politically homeless. Because
same here.
No one is cutting it.
Yeah, same here, man. Same here. That's why I can talk about the Democrats just like I can talk about the Republicans. So right. I went to the point to where I start saying I'm just going to vote for issues. I have an issue. Yeah, if you align with my issues, you get my vote. If you don't, you don't get my vote. But I'm not playing the Democrat Republican crap anymore. And I feel sorry for people who are still caught up in believing that the Republicans are actually going to really do something for you, or the Democrats are really actually going to do something for you. No, when we come together, we can make. I went down to a small town. It's called Mabel, Minnesota, on Saturday. I was invited. I was invited to come down there and talk to a whole room full of Republicans, pretty much white people. What it was. And we all came out of that situation. They had their Republican convention on Saturday, and I was their guest speaker. But I say that to say this here. When I first got there, I was talking to a lot of the people. We were so divided it wasn't even funny. By the time I left there, we had things that we agreed on, right? And like I told them, if we can work on the things that we agree on together, dude, you know how powerful we would be. You know, if we can just leave everything else to the wayside for a while and just work on the things that we agree on. We all agree that we want our grandkids to grow up great. We agree that we want our kids to grow up great. We agree we want the government to leave us alone. We agree that we want to forge our own place in life and things of that sort. We are conservative. We all are conservative, right? If we can just tap down on the things that we agree on, and we can make the government see that these are the things we want you to work on. These things we don't want you to do anything about. We'll work on these, and we'll make our communities and our areas safer on our own without the government thinking they have to come in and bully people. That's what we talked about this weekend. I was the only black person in this room. Probably, I think it's probably about 175, 180 people. The only black person in there. Mm-hmm. And I'm standing and I got white people all around me, and here we are agreeing on things. By the time I left there, we had a sheet full of things that we agreed on together. And I said, let's work on these. And like I told them, let's work on these things right here. These are the things that we all can work on here in Minnesota to make it better. They all agreed. It was that simple, man. But we fight each other all the time for stupid things, for parties. Yes, you're going to fight. You fight me because you're a Democrat, and you fight me because you're a Republican. And we get nowhere. Instead of sitting in a room, coming together, and talking about, thank you, brother. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm doing here in Minnesota. That's what I'm getting in rooms with people. We're going to talk about issues. They may be issues that make you uncomfortable, but we have to start talking about those issues, Dexter. We have to.
But the The only thing I would add is that, I mean, this is 100% right. The gospel truth. The only thing I would add is that having talked about those issues, there has to be an instrument for you to put those issues, what you've resolved, into action. And that means political power, one way or another. So that's the thing. Political power is the thing. Now, you said something, the only thing you said disagree with is you said we have to make the government understand. Well, the government is us. In other words, if the people in government, the people in city government, for example, don't understand that what we require is good policing, right, that respects the rights of citizens. If they can't get that, they insist, no, we're just going to tough on crime all the way to the next election, and they have to go. That's all. They have to go. We will select
okay.
And we'll fly with you. Okay?
Yeah.
Now we'll see, right? Yeah. And then if you don't get it, then we'll sit you down, and we'll get the next, and we'll see who gets fired first. Eventually, we're going to see a government that actually kind of gets it, and we're going to work for the people, and can acknowledge that it's possible to keep the streets safe without stomping on everyone's constitutional rights, and so on and so forth. To me, it's like it's not a choice. I don't have to make a choice between a Bill de Blasio and a Rudolph Giuliani. Like, you're both terrible. You're both awful. Right? I don't want either one of you. But no, you're not built for this job. Next candidate.
So
on and so forth. Next candidate. Right.
So let's do this here real quick, because I'm so sorry, people. I just flipped over to this other screen, and so we got a couple people here. Dex is saying
you have 1 minute left.
Okay, that was quick. Didn't you just log out from? Man, that was. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start. Was that 30 minutes? Are you serious? Oh my God!
30 minutes. I got the timer running on the screen right here. So
okay, all right. Then I'm gonna let. Okay, go. All right. Are you gonna come back for another one? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna come back because I want to hear about these people he got. Who just
okay, yeah. Because I got it. Yeah.
I'll jump off, come back.
All right, I hadn't been keeping up, so I'll get you when you get back.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So the caller has hung up.
I have to apologize to everybody that's been in the comment section. I completely forgot to flip this thing over, and I got all these people with these comments going on here. So I've got to show you all some love here as soon as he gets back. So I definitely want Dexter to hear your comments. And if there's any other, like Carl said, if there's any other questions you guys have, you can definitely go and type them in. I do have it up now. Totally my fault. Blame me for it. Blame me for it. But you know what y'all should start doing in these here comments, even though y'all got these goofy names for yourselves that I can't pronounce, y'all should just say, Kelly. Okay. Yeah, I should put real names on here, like Joe. Joe been on here tonight. Sorry, Joe. We're gonna get you in a second. Joe Lowe. He's been bouncing around as soon as Dexter get back here. So we'll get into those also. And if you can't put something down here, you can also go on Carl's page. Again, that's you are underscore at smartass Carl.
I'll put my ad out there for everybody to see.
Yeah. So, hey, Dex. So we got a couple people here said, free Dexter Taylor. The only bad part about this here is, honestly, I can't see that far, and I can't pull this thing forward at all the way it's set up. Reverend Tim, can Dexter give an update on his case, his appeals, and that's from Carmen Duganson.
Okay.
So said
Sure.
Rev Tim. So we'll I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah. My legal team had recently started cutting the first draft of our appeal. So they're in that process right now. We still need to take delivery of the pre-trial transcripts because there's material from those documents that's relevant to the entirety of our appeal. We're appealing on multiple grounds, obviously. We're appealing on economic grounds, on Bruin grounds, but we're also appealing on fair trial grounds, on speedy trial grounds, and so on and so forth. There were quite a few irregularities in my trial, as you can imagine. And so, we're looking to get whatever relief we can. I would just add that I heard you earlier in the earlier segment talking about getting word to people in Washington. Anyone who's listening to this needs to remember that we're already partway there. In other words, Donald Trump recently directed his Department of Justice to look into Second Amendment violations, civil rights violations with respect to the Second Amendment. Right? This is good. Now, so far, the DOJ is looking at that from a federal standpoint, but nothing stops them. There's nothing in law to stop them from looking into individual states. If individual states have been violating people's civil rights by way of violating their Second Amendment rights. And in fact, we know there's ample precedent for the federal government stepping in when the states, often Democrat-run states, have stepped on people's civil rights. Right? So, to me, that's the thing we should really start emphasizing more than anything else. This is a state case, not a federal case. So a pardon from Donald Trump is simply not in the works. And thank goodness, because if I had a federal beef, it would be a whole different, level of problem. But it's entirely a state case. So to me, the thing is not, let Dexter sail out of prison because, no one just opened the doors and let somebody out. The thing is, what can happen, what Washington can do for us, right, what the Trump White House and the Trump DOJ can do for us, is to start shining a very bright, very hard spotlight on New York State and how New York State has been systemically violating people's civil rights with respect to the Second Amendment. We can probably agree that states have some latitude in terms of whether or not they have a permitting system for carrying outside the house, in the streets, and sort of open carry, concealed carry, open carry. Okay, but constitutional carry, half the states in the union now are constitutional carry. But there is no history and no tradition and no precedent in our United States of saying that a law-abiding citizen becomes a felon simply for keeping and bearing arms inside his house. It's a hammer on that, because that is what the situation is. It's not, me having been arrested in my car with a number of firearms. It wasn't that at all. Okay? This isn't someone with a criminal record, with a history of domestic violence beefs or assault beefs or you name it, right? The police running down on that side. That's not what happened here. What happened here is that New York State has created a bunch of paper felonies, right? They've created these paper felonies to mask the fact that they're not doing their job. And it's good for them because they can say, we're fighting violent crime. And what they're doing is going into people's pockets and saying, oh, you have a firearm, that's a violent crime, off the prison with that. Okay? And that's an infringement. In the case of someone with a clean record, like me, that is an infringement. You can't come into my house and say you have a firearm. That means you're a violent felon. That is an infringement. So I think the more of us lay on that message. Let's get the DOJ looking into this. New York has been doing some funny business. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look from Capioco all the way down. the better it will be. And obviously not just for my situation. This, I think we've reached the transcendent moment with this case, right? This has to be about more than me. Has to. It's not worth this. It's just about me. Yes, I want to get out of here. Yes, I want to be back with my family. But this is not worth it. Not a second of this is worth it. It is just about me. It's about all the other New Yorkers who are having their rights violated by the state of New York with impunity. That has to stop. So, end of rant.
Alrighty. The Stand Still podcast, just wanted to shout out to you, let you know that he's there. So he's there. Big shout out to Dexter, Carl, Rev, also Joe Lou. A big shout out to you on today. It said tag Pam Bondi. So she's the DOJ or whatever. Don Jr. tagged the press. Okay, all right, yep. So it's saying tag them. Rev Tim, thank you for doing a great job spreading the word with. Yep. Hey, he's innocent, so I'm gonna do everything I can do to be on board with Carl and everybody else to make sure that we get this man set free, because I don't see any reason why he should be behind bars here with everything. Yeah. So
lots of family, lots of love to family and to Joe. Yeah, I've got good people around me, man. I'm just blessed. I'm blessed every day. I wake up and I think, wow, it's amazing. It's like, it's almost a meal to me, I talk to my family, and they say the same thing. They know something. You really been blessed. You really got some dynamite people around you. Carl, Jeff Charles, and Donnie. You, Stan Steele, Mel, Sonny Johnson, Jim Fry, Joe. All these people. Robbie, R.I.P. with the Lord. Dr. Nikki, Andrew Smith,
Dana Lowe, she's still out there. Dana Lash. She's still out there fighting for you. Yeah, right? Yep. She's still out there fighting for you. Crystal. Crystal.
Crystal.
I've got to get in a space with Crystal so I can give her grief about pineapple on pizza, but we'll
you should
we'll deal with that.
Thank you, Rick. Because I told her when I heard about that pineapple thing, I was like, Crystal needs Jesus in your life. That's the problem.
We love her. That's our girl. But pineapple on pizza, that's totally that's our girl. But pineapple on pizza.
Right.
So dig this here though. Dig this here. So a while back, probably a couple of months ago, right? Everybody was talking about Nick Cannon. You know who Nick Cannon is, correct? And
no. Who is that?
Oh, you don't know who Nick Cannon is? Oh, okay.
Nope.
Nick, you ever watch Wildin' Out?
Nope.
Okay, so Nick Cannon he's a singer, he's an actor. He was married to Mariah Carey.
Okay.
All right, but the thing with Nick is Nick got a lot of children, all out of wedlock, right? And he's not married to Mariah anymore. But Nick got upwards to I think 10 or 11 kids. And a while ago, the far right, was talking about using Nick as that quote unquote black man who's out here, just having kids, not having the nuclear family and all this here type of stuff, correct? And so he was the poster child for them. He was that black man. Don't be that black man. He's got 11 kids by so many different mamas and all of this here type of stuff, correct? Come to find out, Elon Musk has 13 kids by 4 different women.
Of course he does.
And you ain't heard, and the right has been quiet as a church mouse. Ain't said one word. Not one word, pretty much. But Alex Jones did. Alex Jones is trying to play this as a good thing that Elon Musk have all of these kids. But when it was Nick, when it was a black man, they had all of this smoke to say about this. But all of a sudden they find out Elon Musk got the dude about to have his 13th kid and ain't married to none of the women. And here he is with all of these kids.
But here's the thing. I mean, having a big family is good if you're taking care of them, if you're there for your kids, right? I'm not with the whole thing of having a bunch of kids with different women at a wedlock because one man can't be in all those places at the same time. Children need their mothers and need their fathers. The funny thing is,
but that's not the nuclear family, though.
Well, no, wait. You're not nuclear, whatever. What I'm saying is this. Our Republican brethren seem to want to. No, this is okay. What you just said is the flip side of what I was complaining about in the first part of our talk tonight, right? Is that like, in other words, why are you going to this entertainer? Nick Cannon, it sounds like he's a person of Hollywood and the music industrial complex and all that business. In other words, he's a special case because he's Nick Cannon. I mean, Nick Cannon, I don't know who he is, but apparently he's a very popular name. He's done whatever. Okay. Now it's like, from what I think I was in a space with Sunny where she ran the numbers. She pointed out that, like, on the average, black fathers are a lot more involved with their children, right? And so this is part of the problem. It's like everyone's looking for this big, simple narrative. Okay, we're going to put up Nick Cannon, but it's like, again, having lived where I've lived. I mean, I live in a black and Latino working class neighborhood in Bushwick, and I'm sorry, when I walk around and talk to my neighbors, right? Like, I see devoted fathers everywhere.
Right.
I mean,
Same here.
That's just how that is. Right. So it's like, how come, and here's the thing. How come these same Republicans who want to take a celebrity, as far as I'm concerned, a degenerate celebrity, and hold it up as some kind of example? Like, how come they never want to come and just deal with, like, ordinary people who are doing the right thing and raising their families? You know what I'm saying? That they're, again, trying to take a complicated issue, because it is a complicated issue, and try to simplify it to some dumb symbol they can hold up and print on a poster and point and sneer and make some dumb comments about. I mean, this is one of the reasons I'm not a Republican. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. The story is much more complicated than that. The real story is much more complicated than that. Much more interesting than that. It's much more human than that. No one wants to tell that story. No one wants to tell the story of by the way, no one wants to tell the story of a lot of black men who are, like, let's say, middle-aged, and they're doing this, whatever, they're hustling, they're doing let's go work or this and that or whatever on the side, and they're making good money, and it's like they take up with a woman who has kids. I'm going to be this kid, and I'm going to be the man in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's just, and no one wants to talk about the circumstances in which the nuclear family, the so-called nuclear family, has broken down and full of stepped in, including, like, conservative working class black men to stop that gap. No one wants to talk about that. That's real. What are the protections under the law that men have, right? If they take up with the wrong woman and she starts to use their kids against them. I've seen a lot of that. I've heard a lot of that story outside prison and inside prison, right? Is anybody talking about, are any so-called conservatives talking about that? I mean, that's an example of government overreach, right? Which they say they're concerned about. Why don't I hear them talking about that? No, you want to hold up Nick Cannon. Okay, go hold up Nick Cannon, this is what I'm saying. It's like I'm equal opportunity. It's like anyone who's trying to simplify complex human stories down past what the facts of the matter will bear, I have no patience for. I have no patience for. At the end of the day, bro, if we're gonna take care of each other, we have to actually see each other. I mean, see each other. Really see what's happening in people's lives. You know, and the reality of what's happening in anyone's life is almost always too complicated to fit into a slogan. Why do people feel the need to make these symbols? And to, you know why? What's the purpose? I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, Reverend, some of these professional conservatives, so-called conservatives, I can't understand how they think. I can't. You know, because I can think of half a dozen black dudes I've talked to who like they want to be in their right, and between their ex-wife or the ex-girlfriend who is totally have to use the state as a weapon against them, and the state, which of course doesn't care either way, it's just a mechanism, and between people who say they're skeptical of the state but refuse to apply their skepticism evenly, it's like you guys can't get it right. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
These fathers, these people who actually want to be around their kids, can't catch a break. No one's thinking for them.
I mean, if you know, well, if you had the money, I mean, if you had their money, because Nick is rich. I mean, his family's filthy rich, so he can take care of all those kids. Elon is rich.
Well, he can he can provide for them financially. He can't be a father to all of them.
Right.
He can't be a father to all of them.
That's right.
And that's his right. And that's
right. Yep. And I was going to say the same thing. But both of them, him and Elon, got money. Elon has money, but he's got 13 kids. I mean, do we really believe that he can truly be a father to those? Hey, hold on one second. Hold on one second. So I've got so they said Jared Yarnes, he's a YouTuber with Guns and Gadgets.
Guns and Gadgets. Yeah, I know that guy.
Oh, you know it? Oh, okay. So they said that he shared your story.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up tonight and see.
We gotta give an extra shout out to Crystal. Crystal is the person who went to who went to a show and introduced herself to Jared Yannis. She sent me the picture of her sending Jared Yannis, and she's wearing this T-shirt with my face on it. So Eric Blanford, Eric Blanford is another guy she talked to. Iraq 8888 and Jared Yannis from Guns and Gadgets. Both of those guys I really want to talk to. So if anyone knows Jared Yannis and wants to reach out to him, let him know. I'm ready to do a talk anytime.
Well, I wonder if we can get him on. I wonder if we can get him on here and get him on a show when you call in on a Sunday. I wonder if we can reach out to him and
that would be,
if somebody,
you know something, I have an email address, so I'm gonna write it down. Somebody has to send to him, and ask if he's interested.
If we can get somebody to reach out to Guns and Gadgets, a Jared Yarnes, and see Yannis, what is it? Why? Okay, all right. I couldn't see it. Yes, sir. If we can get somebody to reach out to him, Cam Duganson, if you could help us out in some way, somehow, Cam, and see if we can't get in touch with him, see if he wouldn't mind calling in one Sunday, and we have a conversation with him. But I'm gonna look him up when we get off of this here under YouTube. Oh, Dex, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, I finally found out how to put this thing on YouTube. It took me forever. So we are on YouTube. So I can go to YouTube and have people go there, and if they miss this, if you go to YouTube and pull this off of YouTube, it's under Let's Rip It Up with Rev Christopher and Dexter Taylor. Rev Christopher and that. So the only thing you have to do is probably type in Rev Christopher and Dexter Taylor, and this should pop up. So you can take this here and then send it off to whoever, because that's what's going to get this going, people. If you all, everybody up under the sound of my voice right now, would take just a little bit of time today or tomorrow, and if you know an influencer, if you know someone who's big time, or you know somebody that can maybe will go, I wouldn't mind listening to Dexter Taylor, I wouldn't mind listening to his story, please, ma'am and sir, we beg you, just to take this clip off of YouTube and then put it out there to anybody you want, or just take it off of here and then put it out there to anybody you think that will be, good enough that they would turn their eyes and look at this here situation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, this is, and again, my mantra that I'm always pounding on is like, it's not, it's my situation, but it's not just my situation. Because the same liberals and progressives who are running our cities into the ground, the whole kind of thing that they do, that cities like New York, states like New York do, where it's like, okay, you have a gun, therefore you're a felon. Not you are a felon, you robbed the bank, or you robbed 10 corner stores, or you shot 5 people, therefore you shouldn't have a gun. They're making that argument. They're saying just having a gun, that's a felon. Okay? These governments, these city and state governments have given up. They've given up on actually investigating and solving violent crimes. They prefer to solve paperwork felonies. Because, paperwork felonies, very easy to clear. Like actual robbery, homicide, like you have to actually do some work. But paper felonies, no problem. And at the end of the day, it's not just unconstitutional. That's the thing. I mean, you and I were, and Carl as well, and we're all like very staunch Second Amendment guys, right? But the thing is, putting that aside for a second, it's indecent. It's indecent. It's a, you know what I'm saying? It's like you've got people are actually being harmed by people. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, people are actually getting shot up, they're getting mugged, they're getting raped, they're getting robbed, they're getting their own thing. And it's like, those are the crimes that we want our system to bear witness to, and to go after it, and to close, and to stop, to investigate, to close, and to solve, right? And to try, right? Okay, this guy has to stand trial for this crime. He's harmed people. But we've got all these people who are taking up this mantra of, well, yes, they're getting the guns off the street. Wait a minute, whoa. Get the people who are hurting people off the street. I'm interested in the actions, not the tools. Right? It's like I'm interested in the actual crime, not the instrument of the crime. And so, yeah, I just think, we have the right to expect better, no matter where we live.
And we should. Here you are.
Does apply to us. We should.
Right? Yeah, here you are locked up. So you're locked. So here you are, a taxpayer citizen. You're locked up behind bars, right? And you haven't done anything. Right. But yet there's hundreds of boneheads out there right now committing crimes. And those boneheads that are committing crimes, they won't even touch them and not even really going after them. They've got rape kits here in Minnesota. They got rape kits up the yin yang. They're not processing those rape kits and then getting them rapists off the streets at all. But yet here you are. You go in and you do something that is legally your right to do. Here's the thing that gets, that, like I said, will always get me about your case. Legally, your right of something to do, and they find a way to stick you in jail, and rapists and people who's committing murder and people that are running the streets right now. Right now.
That's right. When I did that hidden path Twitter space with Sean's Values, one of the ones we did, it was on the second one. It was on defensive gun use and other things. And we did some research, and we found that in very many cases, the people, the would-be criminals who were stopped by citizens with firearms had a mile of paper on them. Wait a second. What's this person doing on the street? Doesn't got all this paperwork on them. They've been doing all kinds of crimes, doing this, that, whatever, and now they're walking around, and now they tried to brace up somebody in their home or try to rob somebody in their place of business, and they got shot. Well, he got what he got, but I'm saying, why was it? What happened here? So this is the thing. This is the thing that our city and state governments are doing, and meanwhile, you have like these left wingers who, in the one breath, will complain about police racism, for example, right? But on the other hand, they're going to insist that law-abiding citizens, right, have to ask these same quote-unquote racist police for permission to exercise basic civil rights. Basic civil rights. This is not, we didn't have to go digging in the Federalist Papers, bro, to find this. It's the Second Amendment, right after the first, right? So, yeah, man, it's like we just, this is not good enough. You know, what my father used to tell me, I remember, you know, as a school kid, you know, I'd come home, and if my report card wasn't up to snuff, you know, he'd say, look, he said, this isn't good enough. It's not good enough. And we have to be able to say this to the people who run our government. It's not good enough. No. You know? So, yeah.
Hey, Cam, thank you for tagging Guns and Gadgets for us, too. I appreciate that, for tagging Jared. So thank appreciate you. That. I'm like I say, I'm gonna look him up once we're done here and check this guy out and see if there's any way maybe we can get him to, like I said, touch base with us and call in on a Sunday that we're doing this here. That would be awesome if we could get that going on with everything.
Yeah, I've been watching Guns and Gadgets for a while. He always has like good up-to-date news on Second Amendment stuff, you know, and good.
Yeah, so he's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I finally figured this YouTube thing out. So I do have a YouTube channel. So again, if you want, you can definitely go on that YouTube channel. You can pull this here video up, exactly what we're doing right now, and you can take that and splash it all over the internet everywhere. And to get more people to talking about this issue, to talking about what's going on with Dexter Taylor, talking about his trial and everything, I'm going there. So there's our minute, Dexter. If you want to do one more, that will be awesome.
Yeah, we'll have time for one more before the phone gets shut down for the evening. So I'll jump off, come right back.
Okay, sounds like a deal. Thanks, man.
Brother.
All righty.
All right.
So Dexter's going to jump off here real quick. Then he's gonna log back in. We'll do one more 30-minute segment with everything. But like I said before, we're trying to get this here out there. You know, it would be awesome if people would look at it this way and say they will want to be a part of actually freeing this man. They will want to be a part of his, because I know what it feels like to free someone. I was part of helping a young man here in Minnesota get free from Amy Klobuchar. Two, Myron Burrell and Melvin Hayes. I was part of that, or had something to do with it, or played a part in getting those two. And now I'm working on another one with Philip Vance. Philip Vance is up in Rush City right now. He was put into prison by a crooked DA, AC, or whatever you want to call them. But we're working on getting him out. And getting him, he's been in there since he was 16. The dude is 30-something now, so he's been in there for almost 20 years. And the same thing with Dexter Taylor. Our system is broken, people. It is. And it takes people like us to rally behind these people that they stick into prison for nothing. Again, Dexter Taylor did not shoot anybody. Dexter, oh, hold on one second. Let's do this here. Hello?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We got disconnected for some reason.
All right.
Hold on a second.
All right. But our system is broken. And cases like Dexter Taylor show you that they can take the system and put it towards anybody. Got to wait for them to call. We have some phone problems right now. They can take the system and put it towards anyone they want. And that's what they did to Dexter Taylor. Because Dexter Taylor never shot anybody. He never used the firearms that he put together to shop, which is, Second Amendment right for this man to be able to go out and build his own firearms. He never sold them to anybody or anything of that sort. Right? All right. I think I got you guys.
Hold on a second, Reverend.
Okay. If you look, you have to understand his case, and you can follow us to know what happened here with Dexter Taylor. You would find out about his case, listen to his case. You can look it up yourself and see what we're talking about, how innocent this man is, and he was put into prison. And right now, Dexter Taylor, he calls us from prison on Sundays. We do this here. And talk to Dexter to make sure, number one, he's clarity of mind and everything is good with him. So, and to talk to him and get his thoughts on certain things that are going on, certain things that happen. So that's what we do here on Sunday. And so I thank each and every one of you all for being a part of this, for coming in and hanging out. And again, I'm just asking you to do just a little part in this whole thing, right? You can do, either, help with Dexter and his legal fund. You can go and donate there. You can, hold on one second. You can donate to his legal fund. These hats, like I said, I got the red one, and I got, hold on. I didn't say Alexa. Did y'all hear me say? I didn't say nothing about Alexa, and here Alexa almost started coming on. I'm here. Hello.
Yeah, hold on, Reverend Sam. I'm trying to get Dexter back on the line, but my phone keeps cutting out.
Okay. What? Hey, what's happening, Brooks? Corey Brooks. What's up, Corey? And go Bears. Oh, forget your Bears this year, man. Y'all got lucky, Corey. You got lucky. Lucky, son. Go Bears. I can't believe he wrote that on my screen. I'm shocked. You got lucky, Corey. That's all I'm saying to you. Lucky. That's it. But you know what? It's all good. Y'all got that luck this year. But I guarantee you, we're gonna go ahead and run the tables on you next year, because it's time for the Pack to start stepping up and getting to the point. Oh, I talk about my boy. We talked about the Super Bowl, but didn't talk about my boy. We talked about the Super Bowl. Oh yeah, I'm a Jalen Hurts. I'm a Bama fan. I've always been Roll Tide, and Jalen Hurts played for Roll Tide, so I have to back Jalen. So I have to back Jalen no matter where he goes. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. But that was an awesome Super Bowl. I think that shocked a lot of people. Go Pack, and thank you very much there, Cam. Go Pack, and you know what? The Bears. Charlie Bernstein is right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't come over here with the Bears. Nice one. Always happy to. Yeah, buddy. Right, but speaking of which, like I said, the Packers got one more year under Mr. Man there, Jordy Love, to actually do something. I knew they wasn't doing nothing this year. Next year is when they got to take that step. Next year is when they got to take that step. They have to be. This dude just said, "Wait a minute, did the Stand Still podcast? Did he really just say Jets? This dude just that's almost worse than putting the Bears up there, bro. That's worse than putting the. Hold on one second. That's worse than putting the Bears up there, bro.
Now let's see if this works. All right. I think we got you both now.
All right.
They're
sitting here, hey, Dexter, we still didn't get Dexter. Hey, Carl, we didn't get Dexter a team, did we? Did we give him the Washington Redskins? Who did we give him? I thought we gave him a team.
Nah, we didn't give him a football team.
Oh.
Y'all didn't give me a team.
We got to get him a team because I got people putting Jets up on my screen. Then dude threatened me with the.
We'll give him the Giants,
right? We'll give him. Well, he's from New York. Well, he's from New York, so I guess he get. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Carl. He's from New York, so he gets the Giants. So he gets the Giants. Then we got Gangrene is going to turn. See, Stand Still.
Yeah.
Put the Jets up here a few seconds ago.
Nah, because you know I'm a Dolphins fan, so we're not doing that.
That's why he's trying to get
yeah. and then Corey comes on here talking about the Bears. You know, they got lucky and they
checking for the Bears. Nobody checking for the Bears. He can go somewhere with that.
Caleb is going to. He said Caleb is going to have a show. Caleb is not going to be. Hold on. Caleb is not going to be the quarterback y'all think. He's just not. He's not. That whole quarterback draft is trash. They're not going to be.
Wow.
They're not. Nada.
Hold on. Jalen Daniels.
Oh,
he was a good quarterback.
Yeah, you're right. Totally my fault. I forgot about the rookie. He was rookie of the year. That's right. Corey said, now I got to call in.
Hey, tell him to call me. I'll put him on.
Corey, he said, call. Carl said, call him. Carl said, call him. He'll put you on.
That's hilarious. Corey's like, no, I have to weigh in on this one here.
Nah, we start talking about football.
Right?
That's a different story.
It's over.
Somebody trying to
I noticed that the Baltimore Ravens were doing some interesting things earlier. I guess earlier this year. And actually, it reminded me that I lived in Baltimore for 7 years, and I remember when they kind of put that team together, and it wasn't anything back then, of course, but apparently Baltimore Ravens are a little something now.
Oh, they good.
But I wouldn't know. Yeah, that's what I heard. It's like they kind of.
Carl and them got to figure out what they're gonna do with Cheetah. That's what they.
Oh, we keeping him.
Yep.
Keeping him for at least one more season.
Do he want to stay? That's the question.
He said he does. We'll see.
Well, yeah. He's gonna get up there and start acting a fool, and y'all gonna end up booting him out of there. And then he's gonna end up going to the Packers and running about 3 or 4 returns back, and so then we're gonna win the Super Bowl with him. He's gonna be like what's his face? What's the cat that came from New York and went over to the Eagles and was there?
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon. So that's what the cheetah is going to be like that. He's going to leave you all, the Dolphins. He's going to go up there to the Packers, go to the Packers, and we're going to put him in the backfield where he should be, or we're going to use him better than what the Dolphins are using him. That's why he's mad. And he's going to have a quarterback that can throw. He's going to have a quarterback that can throw to him. And
wow.
He's gonna,
I can't really say nothing about that because our quarterback can't throw.
So we'll be good there. But yeah. Dude, Stanley still come on here talking about Jets. Then you had Corey talking about some dang on Bears. And the only person that stood up with us was Cam here. Cam Dugan said, go Pack. That's what I'm talking about. Because I was showing him my bobblehead, Dexter. I got a bobblehead of Jalen Hurts. Because I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. Okay. I mean, I've been a fan of his since he started at Bama. Because I'm an Alabama fan. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Yeah.
Roll Tide. So I'm a Jalen Hurts fan, and I bought a Jalen 2 years ago when he went over to New York, to the Philadelphia, I got a Jalen Hurts bobblehead. So I got this way before. Let's make sure I got this way before the Super Bowl. That was way before the Super Bowl. So I just want people to know that, so they won't be tomorrow. Or I bought that just yesterday. No, that's been here since way before. Way before when he his
like
first
the guy
year.
Who used to like, Reverend Tim's like the dude who used to like that band early on. I like that early material. Like the early songs.
So man. Yeah. Got people threatening people with their football teams, but that's all right. I love talking a little bit of football now that we finally got Dexter a team. So Dexter is sorry. But you got New York, and so they because you're from New York, so I see you tried to switch over to Baltimore because they're having more success. I saw what you tried to do there, Dexter, because you brought it up. You tried, but
I said it was interesting.
Oh, okay, all right.
Wow. You see. That's messed up. It's gonna wild me up.
Right.
Oh, that's nothing. I mean, there's a dude on the tier here. The dude is right in the South Block who's from Buffalo. He's a Buffalo Bills fan. Everybody like, no.
I feel,
like all these almost good teams.
Yeah. I feel sorry for the Buffalo Bill fans this year, man. I do.
Everyone feels sorry.
Oh my
God. They got robbed. They got robbed.
Carl said they got robbed. You think so?
Yeah. Them calls, man. Them refs was making, that was bad.
I think it was a bad rep.
Yeah, there was a bad rep in that game, man.
All right.
Yeah. I had to say that there was some calls that was like, oh wow, you got to be kidding, you got to be kidding. Those were calls like what Kansas City get. Those are Kansas City calls right there. But
don't the Bills keep almost making it and just like not quite
yeah.
There you go. So. That's not the best.
And this particular game they played, it was the refs.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Yeah. They are like almost in there, but yeah, Buffalo.
Yeah, I do. I mean, and you mentioned Baltimore. I feel sorry for them too because I think Lamar be balling out, and every single year, man, they fall short. It's like this kid. What else did this kid have to do? I mean, he had a better season. Think about it. He had a better season than Josh did. If you look at the numbers side by side, he had a better season than Josh. But I'm just looking at Lamar going, what else does this cat have to do to get himself beyond that championship game? But maybe next year, man. Maybe Kansas City has fallen off. You know, all them guys over there getting old, or they was going for the three-peat. It just didn't happen. The magic just wasn't there. I don't see anybody beating Buffalo next year. I really don't. I think Buffalo is going to be the team that's going to probably represent the AFC. The Eagles will be back in town. I think the Eagles are going to win it again next year. So that's not too much. My 2 cents on that. So we'll see what happens. Did Dexter fall off there?
No, he's still there.
Oh, okay. All right. With everything.
Dexter, you still there? I'm showing him still on my phone, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. It's probably well, he said they was going to cut him off.
Yeah, they usually cut him off at 11, though.
Oh, is it 11? So it'll be 11, 10 o'clock by the time.
So
okay.
You got about 10 more minutes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. With that whole situation there. Stanley said no one knows what a catch is. Okay. All right. I'm waiting for Corey to call you, though.
I was waiting for him too.
So we can go back and forth because it looked like he's a Bears fan. You know, he's all hype. You know, he actually came on just to say, "Go Bears." He said, "What's up?" first, and then he said, "Go Bears." So I'm waiting for him to call you so we can talk about his Bears. They beat the Packers and now they think they won the Super. That's their Super Bowl. Between the Vikings and the Bears, if they beat the Packers, that's their Super Bowl. They're done. They're done. They're done for the season. They're done. They're finished. They ready to wrap everything up and go home because that's what they play for. They play to beat the Packers. Now the Lions have been a really, really good team in the division, and so everybody's chasing them right now. But they can't. The Lions have been so bad for so long. People are still stunned at what they're doing, but they're not going to be able to hold on to what they're not going to be able to hold on to what they've been doing.
Right.
So we're not.
I agree.
Yeah, we're not worried about them anymore. So I don't see anything coming out of San Diego. I don't see anything coming out of San Francisco. They got to rebuild. They're gonna have another rebuilding year, right? You got the Cowboys. They're done for a long time. I'm not even worried about the Cowboys at all. So who else are we looking at that's gonna rival? Tampa Bay is not gonna do anything. I just don't see.
They definitely not.
Yeah. You know, Washington, they had a really good year. They got a really good quarterback. But I don't see anybody. I really don't see anybody to take down the Eagles right now.
No, the Eagles is going to be good for a long time.
At least one more out of them, you think?
Yeah, I think so. As long as they got that defense and Saquon,
right?
They'll be fine. See what happened with Dexter. It's showing that he's still on my line. I don't hear him.
Stanley still said, you got me ready to go down the turnpike and get a cheesesteak. Yeah, that's one of the first things that I had. And I lived in North Carolina, and they had these thing called a swoop. If anybody knows what that is, if you ever lived on a military base, you know what I'm talking about?
We got Corey on the line.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
That's right.
What's happening?
Right.
What's happening?
I am here, sir.
All right.
I am here. And I'm going to stop all this bear slander and everything else. What's going on, Dexter? How you doing, brother?
I don't know what happened to Dexter, but I can't hear him.
Oh.
I'm waiting on him to call me back and see if that works.
Okay.
If he can.
Well, I want to just interrupt there, Reverend Tim, if you had a point to go ahead. I'm just going I'll be on silent until.
No. Nope. I want you to come on in here. Come on in here with your little victory that you had, you and your Bears had this year. And I'm gonna give you an opportunity to go ahead on and gloat all you want. Go on.
Well, yeah, we can laugh about that, but it's not. Y'all still made it to the playoffs, right? My thing is, if you really looked at the NFC North, it was stacked. Every team had a winning percentage.
Yes, sir.
And the Bears were doomed because of a rookie quarterback. And then I felt that the coach, Eberflus, was just weak. He just really got to call it what it is. I felt that Eberflus was just weak. He really lacked any leadership qualities to me. It just and the team just wasn't gelling together. But that's why I said I'm hoping that Caleb can show some improvement. If he doesn't, you know how Chicago fans are. Chicago fans are impatient.
Yeah.
Right. We get very impatient, and then we ready to kick him out the door. And I think it was a mistake to give up Justin Fields, but that just goes to show how impatient Chicago fans got.
Well, then come to find out, if rumors are true and what they say about this kid, that nobody was coaching him, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here going, what are they doing over there?
Yeah. And one thing I think was coming from Eberflus. I think Eberflus was a weak coach, right? And it shows. It just goes to show that he was a weak coach. Tactically, I'm thinking more of a tactician as far as being calculated or calculating as a head coach. He just didn't have the tact for it, I don't think. But I'm eager to see what this new coach is going to do, how he's going to fit in. He came from Detroit. Detroit. Lord, mercy. That was the biggest disappointment right there. That was one of the biggest disappointments.
Right.
That they dropped the ball on that one. I mean, even though Detroit is a rival in our conference, I was kind of rooting for them a little bit because I think Detroit deserves it. But
yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I was kind of going to stay in the conference and go ahead and root for for the Lions. And I thought for sure the Lions were going to do. But I thought for sure the Lions was going to do something, man. The way they were beating us up, and beating everybody in the conference, and I'm sitting there going, "Wow, maybe this is their year." You know what I mean? But the Lions turned into who we thought they were.
Yeah, they definitely were like, we playing football today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about all this? The Jalen Hurts hate? I mean, what else does this kid have to do to prove that he's a top 10, top 8, top 7, top 6, top 5 quarterback? What else do he have to do?
Well, I think he has to make the moon come closer to the earth. I think he has to put out the sun and then reignite the sun. Sometimes I think overly critical is just in itself is destructive. Because when that's one thing I think they're doing. It wasn't like he got lucky, right? That was hard work and determination and patience and putting it in throughout a whole year. And then when it came to the Super Bowl, they put a shellac into him.
Yeah.
So
that defense.
You can't deny his talent or the talent of the Eagles. it was great to see them win. I was kind of pulling for them too, and I felt they deserved it. Even though I do like to see sometimes dynasties, because if you really look at it, that was one of the greatest eras for me with the Chicago Bears. Not Chicago Bears, Chicago Bulls.
Oh my goodness! Come on,
Michael Jordan was playing.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, it was great to see that. It was an experience in Chicago, but also I think over the years Philadelphia has proven that, and Jalen Hurts and Philadelphia has proven that they're a great football team.
Yep. I think a lot of people, like, I'm trying to think of that dude's name, Nick. The guy, I think, was it FS1.
Nick Foles?
That's no. The sports commentator. His name Nick something. But he's a Jalen Hurts hater. I mean, no matter what Jalen does, this bonehead will find something that is not right. He just hates the kid. I mean, he's put him down from day one. But I'm trying to think of the guy's name. He's on one of those sports talk shows on ESPN or is it Fox? One or the other. He's got a long hair, white guy, long hair. His name is Nick something. Yeah.
I don't watch too much sports commentary. Not a lot, because I know sometimes they're trying. It's just like kind of like the mass media. They're trying to sell you something too. So a lot of times, even though it's in a sense a good thing, some people use controversy sales. So if they see everybody going right, they're going to go left.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody going left, they're going to go right, and then that brings in attention more, because now as soon as you say, "Well, so and so said this," and I'm opposed to it. Well, people go check and see what they have to say.
But yeah, that's you got a point, man. I gotta totally agree with that.
Yeah, so that's just the way the world works. So right. Is he trying to be obtuse? Could be. Does he really feel that way? Could be.
Right.
Who knows?
Right. Hey, so, man,
I don't want to keep.
No, I appreciate you definitely called in. I thank you for that. With everything. Is there any Carl? Carl's still here with us, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still with us. I'm on the line with him.
Oh, okay. All
yeah,
right.
What's up?
Hey, did you wanna wrap the night up tonight?
Yeah,
what's your thoughts on everything?
Yeah, I'll wrap it up. I think Dexter phone cut out or the Wi-Fi cut out. He told me earlier the reason why he called late is because his facility has been having Wi-Fi issues. So if he cut out, that's probably why. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in, listening to the good Rev and Dexter talk about issues that is very important. Y'all heard earlier that me and Dexter had kind of a back and forth with each other, but trust me, it's all love. We may disagree on some things, but we agree on a lot more than what we disagree on. Dexter do highly appreciate everybody tuning in and sharing the stream and sharing his story and supporting him. So, we really do appreciate that. Hopefully next Sunday we can get together and do this again if the good Rev is up for it. And if Dexter is up for it, I'm up for it. Also, Tuesday, we're going to be me and Dexter is putting together a space with Joe Lemieux. So we'll be doing that and talking about his story and talking about other things. So if you want to come to that, let me know and I'll send you an invite. You'll see it on my timeline too, because I'm going to be tweeting it out. But other than that, that's all. That's all I have to say.
Sounds like a deal. Did you have anything to say there, Corey? Or did Corey?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I said you can help us close out too. You've been listening to the show. You got anything you want to end us with?
Well, I want to end it with the fact that, unjustly, Dexter Taylor is still spending time in a correctional facility. And I don't think we will stop until he's freed. Also, my call to action goes out to the black community. I'm just going to keep it real. I'm going to go out to the black community. We fuss about everything else that's wrong in America. This was wrong. And we should be the ones that are spearheading this. And we should be the ones calling for his release. The Second Amendment is for every American in the United States. Whether you consider yourself a different demographic or anything else, as Americans, we should know if it happens to one, it happens to all. And if we don't, and we sit by and stay silent about it, nothing will ever get done, nothing will ever get changed. And we need to hold our politicians accountable for their actions. If we sit by idly, they will reign, they will terrorize, and it will continue to help hurt the American public.
Sounds like a deal, my brother. Hey, guys, again, thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. We so appreciate each and every one of you guys' time. Again, if you wouldn't mind, like I said, just tweet it out. Tweet it out to anybody that you know, someone that you think that can make a difference. Friends, family, word of mouth. I don't care what it is. Again, you can go. I'm finally on YouTube, so you can go on YouTube to RevTChristopher or Let's Rip It Up. Go there and we're there on YouTube. Pull it off of YouTube. Blast it out there. Have somebody see it so they can understand what's going on. We'll definitely appreciate that. Like Carl said, there's going to be some things that's going to be going on related to Dexter on Tuesday. So you all come back and hang out on that. I will be here. Well, my son's supposed to be here tomorrow. My son, my oldest son, I love my kids to death. My oldest son's supposed to be over here, and we're going to be talking music, black music, what black music has done, and all this here type of stuff. So we're going to do that tomorrow. We'll probably be on about 7 o'clock. So if you're not doing anything and you want to laugh a little bit and see your old guy school a young little bonehead, he should be here on tomorrow. He said he was coming over. He wanted to do a show about music because he got mad at. Hold on. How it all started is he's got mad at me because I went on Facebook and said that I didn't understand a word Kendrick Lamar said. And I didn't because I don't listen to his music, right? And because I don't listen to his music, I couldn't understand what it was. So I had to go to YouTube, pull up his music, and then play his music, play all the songs that he did. I listened to every one of the songs so I can hear the music part of it. And my son and some people on Facebook got all upset at me, and we went back and forth and all this here type of stuff. And so they was telling me that I'm not about the culture and I'm too old to understand the culture and I'm too old to understand the music of today. Because I believe the music of today is garbage. Period. Point blank. I said it and I'll say it again. But he's going to be over tomorrow, and we're going to be doing a Rip It Up on tomorrow. So if you're not doing anything, you want to come laugh for a little bit and hang out, I appreciate it. Carl, thank you very much. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everything that you do on the back channels and get this thing up and started with everything. Corey, appreciate you for coming and hanging out with us, man. Y'all have a good week, and we'll talk to y'all soon, Bree. I'm out. Bye-bye now.